Hey guys, so this is a bit of an impromptu video. You know, I always try to plan my content and whatever right for the right moment, which around here never happens. So I'm making supper for tonight, and it's one of our favorite dishes, and so I just thought I would share it with you. Not only is it one of our favorites, it's a really good stretcher for meat. And not only that, but I'm using a bunch of things that I had in the fridge that needed to get used. So it is well, it started out, because I never just follow a recipe, as a jalapeno popper chicken recipe. But of course I've modified it to suit our taste, or my taste. So I'm going to show you what it is. Right now I'm just chopping up the veggies. I've got chicken that it's 4 chicken breasts. I sliced them fairly thin, put them in the oven with some seasoning, and I'm kind of baking them a bit to get some of the moisture off, because when I throw all these veggies in, that adds more moisture. So while it's cooking, I'll show it to you when it's done. I'm not trying to cook, well, not really trying to cook the chicken. I just want to make sure that I've evaporated a lot of the extra moisture. I think I'm going to have too many vegetables, but on the other hand, I don't think you can have too many vegetables. So I'm just using these up. They're kind of on what's on cheap right now. I have a red onion, and it's not even a whole red onion, and it's probably more than I need. I may keep some out for a salad or something. I've got cilantro. I know you might not be able to see here because of these candles, but this is how I like to cook. This is some of my rosemary from the garden I've got drying here. It smells amazing. It's not going in this dish, but anyway, it's here. And I'm cutting up some bell peppers, and I have 2 jalapeno peppers. And I know you're probably familiar with what we're doing. We're hoping to move, trying to pack, trying to get things organized. And it's funny how when you have to think about packing things, it does make you get better at being a little more selective what you bring. So I'm trying to use up the things that we have so I don't have to move them. The less I have to pack, the happier I'll be. However, I want to be wise about it, because I find groceries way more expensive up north, especially in the little town. I probably should stop there because I have a lot to say about that store in town. I think we're going to have some issues. So I have 2 bell peppers. I've got a yellow and an orange, only because that's what I had. I'm now going to do jalapenos, because this is, how could it be jalapeno popper if you don't put jalapenos? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I should take the seeds out. So I've kind of loosened them just by rubbing it like that. They do come out pretty easily, and I know I should be wearing gloves, or I don't have gloves in the house. I just washed my hands and burned my eyes. It has happened. Probably get more trouble with onions than we do peppers. This one's not bothering me today, but I think it's because it's been in the fridge, and that probably did help. So I'm just seeding these only because some of my kids don't really like things spicy. And I can always find spice to add to something. It's hard to take it away if it's too hot for someone. Rinse these off quick. So this is the end of a long weekend. I know this probably won't get posted till next Friday, because I have a video coming out tomorrow. And we're going away for a few days because it's our anniversary next week. I may get some footage there, because one of the things Glenn and I love to do when we go away, we're actually renting a cottage. Well, not renting, because these people are stubborn and they won't take money for it, so they're letting us go for 4 days. But we really like to cook together, and when it's just him and I, We like to make things that we don't typically make at home, because feeding a whole house full of people is a lot more expensive than just him and I. But that's one of the things I like about this dish, because it takes 4 chicken breasts, and I've fed, okay, so let me think, how many typically are there here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 to 8 people on 4 chicken breasts, and there were leftovers. So, I mean, you can't beat that. And this is what we need. Like, for one, I don't like to use a lot of meat. It's just a personal thing. But I also am not at this stage prepared to go without meat. So I just try to stretch it. For one, so we don't have to buy so much, but more, I feel like I'm being somewhat more responsible. So this is just kind of my garbage bag, although that could all go in compost. Don't know if the worms are going to like the jalapenos, but I guess we're going to find out. I still have half a pepper there. I'm going to put that in because I'm afraid it's going to make it too watery. So I think there's going to be some pepper and some onion that I'm not going to use. I'm going to check the chicken. So I just have to clean as I go. I can't stand working in chaos, which is a bit of a joke right now. Feels like my whole life is chaos. But some of it I can't control, some of it I can. I'm just going to check the chicken and I'll be right back. I'm going to show you the chicken right now. I am going to put it back because, I don't know if you can see this. There is still quite a bit of juice on there, and I want to get rid of that juice, but doesn't that look good? So I'm going to put it back in the oven. Okay. You'd think I'd worked hard today. I mean, I do when I work, but I also take a lot of downtime. Anyway, I'll be back when I'm ready to throw this together, show you what it's going to look like, or how I put it together, and at the end, hopefully I'll remember to let you know what it's going to look like. Okay, so my chicken's done. I hope you can see that okay. I have a little bit of moisture left, but it's got a lot of flavor in there. I don't really want to get rid of it, so I got to make room. I love these silicone oven mitts. So into the chicken, I'm just taking all this. So I'm taking all the peppers, I'm gonna sprinkle it on. This looks like it's gonna be a lot of vegetables, but I think when they cook down, it won't be too bad. All the jalapenos, hopefully it's not too hot. I did burn my face a bit, I forgot to wash my hands. And take some of the onions. And I think I'm going to leave the cilantro till a little closer to the end. So I'm just spreading this evenly in the pan. I'm using my stoneware pan from Pampered Chef. I love my stoneware. So then I'm just taking cream cheese. I'm just roughly chopping it into chunks. Kind of small, only because I really want to spread it around on the pan. So I'm doing about 12 to 15, using a whole block of cheese. The end pieces, I only got 3. I have to taste this. Love cream cheese. So if you're low carbing it, perfect low carb dish. So before I put that on, I also have some leftover roasted tomato and basil bruschetta topping that I didn't use. So I'm going to put it over. You can put salsa. You don't even have to put anything tomatoey, but it does add to it. And these roasted tomatoes were field tomatoes that my daughter sent home. She picked them the morning we left. You don't buy that stuff in the store. Oh yeah, I first still forgot to wash my hands. You don't buy that stuff in the store. And it is too good to waste. So this is what I'm doing with the rest of it. And I'm just sprinkling this cream cheese over the top. I am going to stir it. It is going to melt. But I'm just leaving it sit on top here. So, you know, I'm not entirely sure yet. We have some potatoes left that we're probably going to use up. So the kids can have theirs with potatoes. We've had it on wraps like fajitas. I don't know what I'm going to do with mine. I might just have it with salad. Now I am not going to cover this because I want, again, there's going to be more liquid from the vegetables and I want it to evaporate. So I'm going to put this back in the oven. I now have the oven at 475. Going to let it cook. The chicken is cooked till the veggies are soft. The cheese is melted. I'm going to give it a stir and then I'll throw the cilantro and probably some Parmesan cheese on and put it back in the oven just for a bit. And I'll be back to show you the end result. So I'm turning the oven up to 475 only because I have bread that needs to bake and it needs to bake at 475. So while this oven is on anyway, I'm going to cook the casserole, then I got to put my cast iron pots in to heat them up to do the sourdough. So thankfully it is cool out today. You take advantage of whatever you're already doing. Do as much as you can that takes advantage of the heat that's on or the food you have or whatever it is. I'm nowhere near a master, but I can stretch $1 when it comes to feeding a family. And while I don't pay the hydro and it's not as big of a forefront issue for me, it is for my husband who pays the hydro bills. And so I respect that. And so anytime I can combine things and I try to do things in the off hours, it's hard with bread because it takes an hour to heat up the pots. It takes about an hour to bake the bread. And I'm just not up that early to have that said and done by 7 o'clock when the prices go up. But if I have the oven on, I try to use it for other things at the same time. You know, guys, this is about middle class, lower class families dealing with real life, with real finances, still wanting to feed decent meals to their family, still wanting to live a somewhat, I don't know what normal is anymore, but somewhat comfortable life, not freezing, not whatever. So this is why I do this. I've been doing this for years. Yes, I come up with new recipes. I find new recipes. I always modify them. I never usually make them as they are. Maybe once just to see what it's supposed to taste like and then go from there. But I want you to be able to survive and thrive without being a slave to the stupid prices that we are having to pay for just about everything right now. And I know when people work all the time, it's hard. I don't even know how people do it. I watch these nurses at the hospital. They're raising kids. They're working full time. They're working shift work nights and days. Like, I couldn't have done it. I didn't go to work until I was over 50. But anyway, this is the real world, like the reality that most of us live with. And if I can somehow help you stretch $1, take 4 chicken breasts and feed a family of 6 or 8 and still have leftovers for work lunches. If there wasn't that many of us and I was still working, this is what I'd be taking on my lunch. Leftovers are lifesavers. Leftovers are lifesavers. If you're in the workforce, you take those leftovers. I have kids that used to eat out all the time, used to go to Tim Hortons every morning, used to, spend so much money on takeout and pizza and, all this stuff, come home from work tired, and they're learning on their days off to make meals that will carry them through the week so that they're not eating, half the stuff I don't even like. It's okay for a treat once in a while, but to live on that, to make that your primary source of meals feeding your family, it's not feasible and it's not healthy. So, if you want to do it and you got the money to do it and whatever, that's fine, you do it. I'm not dissing anybody, but I'm telling you, if you're sick of that rat race and you want to start taking some things into your own hands and doing what you can do to make it better for your family, I want to help you. That's all I want. My kids are raised, but I think, and I'm so thankful, that they love homemade food. And yes, these other things are like a convenience and a stopgap, and sometimes they've been like your mainstay for your food intake. But I know, they know that there's a better way, and that's where they're starting to fall. They are starting to, my one son in Timmins, he cooks way better than I do. I'm asking him for recipes. My oldest son, he can season things like nobody's business. Now granted, 9 times out of 10 it's really hot because I don't think he has taste buds left. I'm sure that kid could, eat habaneros right off the plant. But all that to say, he knows what kind of seasonings to put in things. They're teaching me things. This is a community effort. We can learn from each other. And if you've learned anything from me, and I'm not an expert, I am not trying to hold myself out as an expert. I've just lived on a limited income with a large family, and I want to be able to eat well, and I want my family to eat well, and I don't want to be on rations. Glenn and I have this discussion all the time. I'd rather there was a week's worth of food in leftovers than have just enough. Because what if somebody wants seconds? I love leftovers. We don't waste them. So in my opinion, it's not a waste. I would rather cook twice as much than we need and have enough. And I don't know what that is, and I'm sure some psychiatrist could, analyze that and come up with something. I don't really care. I just know I have kids that love to eat. We enjoy food. We don't even do Christmas presents, because nobody really needs anything. And it's a lot of money, and it's stuff that gets put on a shelf or put in a box or put in a cupboard or whatever, kicked around for a bit, and it's gone and it's wasted. So we take that money and we spend that money on food so that when we come together, we have a blast. We try new recipes, we have our favorites, we eat until we couldn't possibly eat another bite, and there's still enough left to do it again tomorrow. Because we spend time together. And when I have on my website, that some of the greatest things I've made in my kitchen are the memories that matter the most, I'm not joking. Some of my deepest conversations with my kids have happened around the kitchen table over food. And money cannot buy that. Money cannot buy that. And those are the things we need to go after in life. And I'm sorry, I know I'm preachy, I know whatever, but I can't tell you how passionate I am about spending time together as a family around the dinner table, hearing each other's hearts. And I just don't think it would be the same if we were sitting eating Subway. And I don't want to diss Subway. I'll probably get banned or something from this. Whatever, I don't care. It won't be the first time. Probably won't be the last. I'm just saying, if that's not what you want, if you want the quality time, the quality meals on a budget though, like I love Gordon Ramsay. And I watch his shows. I've watched probably just about every one. I'm running, like I hate that he ended that Nightmare show because I've watched them all. Or his cooking, like his own cooking, but I can't afford to go buy the things he buys to make a meal. I think anybody can cook if you can, pay for all this stuff. It's like Martha Stewart. God love her. No dissing her either. If I had the money she has, I could decorate too. She pays people to come and do all this. Like, oh yeah, I got ideas right out the roof. But anyway, whatever. I'm just saying, I think the real skill is when you are limited, when you don't have unlimited means, and you can still put a decent meal on the table that people enjoy, like really enjoy. And you know that it's healthy enough, it's not crap from a store, a box, a fast food place, then I'm sorry, that you're a good cook. You're a good cook. I don't care if it's homemade mac and cheese, it's still better than the box stuff. Like, you don't have to be gourmet. It doesn't have to be like splendid and out of this world different. Just real food. Real food. And do I hit the mark every time? No, I do not. Do I hit it most of the time? Yeah, I think I do. And that's not just my opinion. My kids love to eat here. So that's all I need. That's all I need. Anyway, if I remember, I will show a picture when this is done, or come back and show me finishing it to you. But I'm not good at remembering, so it may not happen. I will at least try and post a picture. But take the inspiration, make it your own, do what you want to do, put what you want to put in it. You are not limited to what I put in it. This is just a springboard. This is just a starting point. So be creative, and don't be boxed in. Or make it as simple as you want, but with real ingredients. Whatever works, but just don't be intimidated. Branch out, enjoy your time in the kitchen. I enjoy mine, maybe too much. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen when we go up north and it's basically just Glenn and Josiah and I. Actually, I kind of do know what's gonna happen, but that will be another video. Take care, guys. Thank you for joining me. If you get any value out of this at all, please hit subscribe. Please like my video. Please leave comments. I love comments. I'm sure it helps with ratings, but honestly, I just love hearing from people. But, I'm getting more subscribers. I just hit over 1,000 views. That means so much to me. I'm not making a cent off this. Maybe I will someday, I don't know. All I know is there are 1,000 views of people watching my stuff, and I hope that it inspires them. I hope that it empowers them to take the reins and not be manipulated and coerced or controlled into a lifestyle that will kill us. Anyway, sorry, I'll stop. Have a good day. Let me know if you make any of this. Please let me know. That would so exhilarate my heart. Like, it would make me so excited. And share your thoughts, your ideas. I'm not the only one that does this. Like, you cook for a family, probably, or even for yourself. What are your favorite meals? What feeds your soul, not just your stomach? Like, there's so much potential with food and meals and kitchens. If I had built my house that I wanted to build, it would have been 95% kitchen on the main floor. That's where we end up anyway. So, yeah, dining rooms, like formal rooms, like all this stuff. Yeah, that would not happen. That would not happen. It would be a mausoleum. It would be a mausoleum. I want big tables, big areas where we can all sit and hang together. And that's what life is to me. And it does revolve around food. So again, be inspired, be empowered, be encouraged, and hit subscribe. Talk to you later. So this is, the cheese is starting to brown on here, so I'm going to stir this up. Try to get my finger out of the road. It won't really melt down and mix in on its own. You really do need to help it along. It's okay. It's just to break it up and spread it around a bit. Stir it up. And you could put more cheese. Again, I'm just trying to make it somewhat cost effective. Again, we buy these things when they're on sale. These vegetables are almost just the right amount of done for me. I like them kind of crisp. So I'm going to stir this. All those little pieces. See how this doesn't even stick to my stoneware? It's amazing. When I've got a few, like this is old as the hills, but I've got a few new pieces of stoneware. When I get them, my gosh, they're like so rough, and I think, oh, they've changed it. And I think, nope, it just needs to be seasoned. You use it a few times, make sure you use something that has lots of oil, and it is beautiful. It's like cast iron. It seasons beautifully. So now I'm just going to get the cilantro and put that on. It's kind of a love or hate thing. I have a son-in-law that doesn't like it, at least one, but I happen to love it. So I'm putting it on, trying to sprinkle it evenly. Don't get my finger out of the road. And that's going to flavor it so nicely. Sorry, it's hard for me to cook and man the camera. I need a cameraman. Pretty sure I have a son that could do that for me. I have to get on hot. Okay, this is going back in the oven until it's cooked down even more, and then we are going to enjoy. I also sprinkled some Parmesan cheese over it. You could put mozzarella, you could put anything, or you don't have to put any at all. But I just think it helps. So I put it near the end though, because I don't want it burnt. Okay guys, so here's the finished product. Doesn't it look delicious? So one of the key things to remember is to let it sit. And it's hard, not gonna lie. But it is important because it will soak up a lot of that juice back into the meat and the vegetables and just make it so much better. So don't be afraid to let it sit for a bit. I would say minimum 15 minutes. But yeah, and then dig in and enjoy.